Welcome to Transitional Objects, a podcast about grief, friendship, trauma, healing, and the strange cosmic magic that shapes us when we're not looking. We're two longtime friends and therapists who've been through some things, a lot of things. And now we're talking about the big stuff, what we carried, what we let go of, and what we're still very much figuring out. Unfiltered, occasionally spiritual, always real. Think of it like therapy, but with more cosmic detours and fewer billing codes. Hi, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Transitional Objects. We're here.
At the end of a long day, we usually do these on Fridays.
Friday mornings.
Early
afternoon for you.
Totally, yes. And today is a Monday out of all days, and it's after work day. So for me anyway, what about you? Because we have a time change, guys.
Well, it's 3 o'clock for me, but it's still after work day. I've seen some clients today. So both of us are in a very different, energetic place today than we are when we typically meet.
Yeah, and it's dark here. It's like the time change, and things are just getting darker earlier, and so it's like a different vibe right now.
It is a different vibe. I can feel it.
I can too.
Yeah. Well, so it maybe is appropriate for our topic today. We're going to talk about inner child today, which I know, as we were brainstorming ideas of what we're going to talk about, I believe that was my idea, inner child. So I don't even know. Bridget, I'm curious, just kind of what does inner child even mean to you? Is that even a concept that you spend much time with?
Well, it's so funny you ask. Well, yes. Also, I just want to preface that the inner child talk has gotten a little poppy out there. And so it kind of sounds cheesy and kind of ooh, yeah, self-talk, talk to my inner child.
Yeah.
And so I just hope that we can kind of, I don't know, destigmatize the cringe factor to this today. But yes, actually, the inner child is near and dear to my heart, only because I practice many mishmash of modalities in my practice, but I like to practice using internal family systems. And so internal family systems it talks a lot about the different parts of who we are. And, sometimes those parts are primarily formed or birthed in childhood. So in my practice, when we talk about inner child, it could be any age, but it's not cheesy. It's actually quite profound when you feel safe in a space to access one of those parts. But yeah, I guess for me personally, outside of my practice, I guess I have identified certain inner child parts of me when they show up, how they show up, what they sound like, how I am towards them. And also just being a mom to kids too. Some of those legacied or intergenerational parenting can come out that isn't necessarily what I needed as a child. As a parent, trying to recorrect that with my own kids. La-di-da-di-da. So I don't know if I answered that.
La-di-da-da-da.
That's a long answer to your question. So
yeah.
So I hope I answered it.
Well, I'm glad you said that about the kind of terminology inner child and being this pop, I don't know, whatever, trending pop psychology topic or whatever title you want to put on it. Because yes, I do think that idea of inner child is just out there in the world right now, and people maybe just throw around that terminology pretty freely. And I will say too that once upon a time, there was a time when the words inner child would have been that's ridiculous.
Right.
This is some woo-woo concept that somebody's come up with, and it has no application
to my real life. And I would have just dismissed it as such. But now the idea of inner child just means so much. It means something different to me. And it's something that I'm really interested in and like almost not always, but very regularly trying to track that in myself and bring awareness of that with people I work with as well. But I very generally just think about it as being like the way inner child of being representative of the ways that we act or the choices we make when we're not in the best version of ourselves.
Yeah. Is there any other frame or state of being that you're like the inner child within us or within you comes out? Like I'm hearing, okay, it's when I'm not my best version of myself, but is there another version, like a playful version or a scared version or a fearful version that comes out?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're pointing to IFS stuff here, right? Like parts work with which is these different
Can be, yeah.
these different parts of ourselves, variations of ourselves. Interestingly, though, I think when you said playful, I think about kids when we use the word play. And I actually think I am a time that I might be playful with whether that's children or adults, would be a time when I may be in my best self. Like I'm acting from like my highest self, the best version of me, the self that is able to have fun and is able to be playful. Whereas there are sometimes that I'm not able to do that, that I'm not able to, oh, don't be, this is stupid. I don't have time for this, or whatever it might be, a more dismissive, I don't know, response to like playfulness.
Yeah.
But that would typically be because I'm tired or I'm overwhelmed or something like that. And that's not in the best version of myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question at all, but
I think the word play for you brings up, yes, being a child, but also for you in your adulthood, you tend to be like authentically playful when you are your best self. When you're feeling free, when you're feeling relaxed, when you're feeling open. I guess what I'm hearing you say, you're tracking more often, you're able to track now when your inner child or your younger self is present or surface when you aren't your best self. So I'm just hearing some of the like, when you can see or differentiate self from your younger self as, more or less like when you're needing something that you're not getting, right? Whether that be sleep, whether that be routine, whether that be comfort, that's when you can notice that younger you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I do things or respond in ways to situations that there's a wide degree of what this could look like, and sometimes it's just like, oh, whatever, I shouldn't have said that thing. And it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can be a lot bigger. It could be like picking fights or doing things that are really more representative of like what a child might do, but not representative of what I, in my best adult self, would do.
Yes. Yes. Because when we think of kids, they only have so much capacity to reason, and their levels of cognition and their abstract reasoning and their different developmental ages and stages appropriately aren't as zipped up as adults can be, right? Aren't as sophisticated or troubleshooting or flexible as we like tend to learn through relationships as an adult. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. One question I like to ask, I ask my clients a lot, I'm wondering if you do this, some similar version of it, is like how they're talking about a particular
situation that might have happened, or a particular way in which they might have responded to something, or a particular choice they might have made, like how old they feel in that situation.
Yeah, I do. I
Mhm.
do ask that pretty similarly, like how old. I usually ask, like, how old do you think this part is?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can locate an age. And
Mhm.
when I do that, I don't know about you, but when I do that, it's first of all, it's getting the consent. It's getting the consent to be curious about even locating an age. Because sometimes, again, like kiddos can be really stubborn. Our younger selves can be really stubborn. And no, I don't want you to be curious about me. I'm not gonna tell you. But
Or that's stupid.
or that's stupid, not doing it. Rebellion.
Yeah.
But there will be times, many times in session where, that younger self or that younger part will show up. And usually it shows up in my practice with memory. And usually that memory will be very like a flashbulb memory. It'll be very descriptive. It will be very, what's the word? Basically, it's just a very good, prominent memory. And they remember how they felt, what they were wearing, what the other person was saying. I mean, all environmental things that it's imprinted in their brain. And then that answers their developmental stage and age.
Mm.
Oh, I was 8 because I was in 3rd grade and whatever. And so that's when we'll say, oh, thank you. Let's thank our part for being like our younger self, for letting us be curious about them. Right,
Mhm.
letting us know that we see you, we hear you, because our younger selves they show up because they're unmet. Their needs have been unmet.
Yeah.
Kind of tantrum. So anyway, I don't know if that, like within certain memories that the people that you see in your practice, like how to locate the age, but that's sometimes what I do.
Mhm. Yeah, that's good. And that seems like that can really be an easy way to get to the age. 'Cause
Sometimes.
yeah. Yeah. I- Sometimes it does feel like a weird question, or it's a hard question for somebody to even I think understand what you're asking, and then two,
Right.
to be able to find an age. 'Cause it just feels like it's present in my life right now. So this is right now. And I think sometimes that's probably the very true for the lived experience. If a person is living more regularly in a place of fight or flight, say,
Yeah.
um,
Right.
a very
Yeah,
dysregulated place.
exactly. I mean, also that question can feel and sound very abstract, especially if they are at a 10, if they are fight or flight, or it's like, I don't know, I can't tell you, but just conceptually, that can be tough. That can be an abstract thing. I find that there are some people that kind of have a lot of resistance to it. And whether that be because they don't want to go back to the past because certain things in the past have led to feelings of discomfort and trauma and so on, or younger or distant memories that they don't want to think about or talk about or
Mhm.
relive or refeel. And so that there can be resistance there.
Yeah.
That, you know,
Yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah, I think also it can be, as we grow up and become adults, and we have many more resources available to us than we had as children, and our brains develop, we can forget what it's like to be children and or minimize the experience of it, because now we're adults and we're in a different position, and we can see, well, it wasn't that big of a deal. I survived it. I'm here, kids survive things, and maybe not give the situation the credit that is due to it, meaning in what ways the situation impacted a child
Yes.
who didn't have those
Yes.
resources and
Exactly.
didn't have the brain development to understand things the way we can as an adult.
And didn't have the holding
Yeah.
or the platform to process in an age appropriate way what that must have felt like.
Yeah.
And so that's where, right, from that moment, it's like, boom, it's the part is that this like younger kind of frozen in time part has been born essentially. And then over time, it's like an ecosystem of like how to keep this younger self nurtured in a way where it doesn't feel that pain or doesn't feel that neglect or doesn't, it can be like a Wild West, you know, where it's all on this little kiddo, whatever age, to survive that and not really have the holding. And so I think it can be, when we talk about inner child as an adult, about ourselves and with others, it can be really, really healing. And it gives a platform for this younger self, probably for the first time ever, to be seen and heard and not to be brushed aside, shamed away, judged away, or saying that's ridiculous or whatever.
Yeah.
It can be really like transformative as we identify certain inner children within us, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it can, as you used these terms earlier, but it can help identify what the unmet need is that's getting activated in the whatever these adult situations are. Because like anything, all the behaviors that you might see adults do that aren't like, you know, from their best self, like name calling, hitting things, yelling, maybe even slamming doors, punching, road rage, silent treatment. I don't know what other things. There's a lot of other things we can do. Yeah. But all those things are things kids do. Those are not things that functional adults do. So whenever somebody is engaging in any of those things, it's a younger version of themselves with an unmet need who's getting loud and trying to get that need met, but in a way that for an adult isn't, and probably also for a child, but probably isn't going to get them at what they're actually needing in the moment.
An unconscious reenactment of that unmet need. And it's almost kind of like, all right, I'm an adult. I can do this. Again, not conscious, but I can play this out again to get my needs met, when really it's not the healthiest way to get your needs met. So do you have any recent moments where you were able to identify a younger you surfaced?
Yeah, just over the weekend, yesterday.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I think so. No, we were texting yesterday, just firming up our meeting today and what we were going to talk about. And I can't remember the words you said, but you said something about like rebelling against. Rebelling against the coming week or the end of the weekend or something along.
I was rebelling against today because because today's Monday. I mean, who come on? Just a full work day. I had to get the kids off the bus. We have a recording. It's just a long ass day. So I was just like, I had a glass of wine, which I typically don't do, especially on Sundays. And I was just, kind of like, again, like not making a solid conscious choice to prioritize like sleep and hydration and blah, 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 you know. But yes, that's what I was referring to, this rebellion. This rebellion. I was like a teenager last night.
Well, of course, I had a similar experience because that's how it works for us.
This is the cosmos, guys. This is, you know.
But I'd been out of town over the week, just a really quick weekend trip over the weekend. Part of it was like, I'll just call it business related, but part of it was for my partner's business, but part of it was fun too. We were in a wine country area and had gone to some wineries. And so on Saturday, so on Sunday, the next day, like I'm not feeling 100%, mostly because of like sleep issues, which was, you know, which comes with the perimenopause, but which is exacerbated by alcohol. So it's not necessarily the alcohol itself, but it was, which I guess it is, but the way that the alcohol disrupts my sleep. So it wasn't that I felt hungover. It was just that I felt tired because my drinking alcohol made me wake up over and over and over and over again throughout the night. because I was hot.
Again, the hormones, apparently.
Yes, the
Let's just
hormones.
pile it on this
Mhm.
episode.
Yes, yeah.
It's like
So
our viewers are like, God, I can't keep track of these problems, these issues that they have.
it's all hormones, these damn hormones. So anyway, Sunday, I hadn't had great sleep. And I was also traveling, like I was flying back home later that day. And similar to you, as knew a busy Monday with an additional commitment of we had to record this podcast, whatever. So all of these things just like, oh God, I don't want to, but I don't want to, but I don't want to travel today, but I don't want to be staying, even though it's a nice Airbnb, I don't want to be in somewhere that's not my comfortable environment, right? I don't want to. So none of this, I never said that out loud, but it's this internal experience of resisting my situation. And for me, that part of, we've touched on this before, but part of what that comes with for me and feeling like already dysregulated in this situation comes with some pieces that are or makes me more inclined to use the tools I have that are more soothing, or historically at least have been more soothing to me, which includes food and drinking, right? So I'm like, I'm going to eat this huge breakfast.
And you did.
Yeah, and I did, which, spoiler, doesn't actually make you feel better. It makes you feel worse. Right. But all of these old childlike tools that I have that I still default to when the right set of circumstances come up where I'm not in my best self. So I was doing a lot of that yesterday.
And were you aware of that in the moment, or do you feel like the younger you kind of just took over?
It's interesting because we've talked about this before, and this has been more, I don't know, just more present for me. So I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it in the moment. And it's also really hard for me to believe it will ever feel different.
What do you mean by that?
So in the moment when I'm not feeling great, I'm tired, I'm not looking forward to this, having to fly later, it's really hard for me to conceptualize and understand that tomorrow I might feel better. Once I get back into my home, once I get a good night's sleep, it's not the day immediately following wine tours, I might feel better. Like that possibility is hard for me to reach when I'm in those places.
Which is, if we think about how children think while they're in discomfort,
it's forever.
It is, exactly. So what you're saying is you can definitely tell that there is this younger inner kiddo present, just by the ways that it's kind of distorting the ways that you're conceptualizing in the moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It feels like this is going to last forever.
Yeah.
And even though obviously there's a part of my brain that knows nothing lasts forever and that knows tomorrow is going to be another day, it really does feel like, nope, I'm going to feel this way forever. So I have to make choices from that place of feeling this way forever.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is actually interesting. Like I hadn't necessarily thought of that before you just said it, in terms of that is the experience of a child. Like
that is oh yeah.
It feels like forever. I'm going to be stuck in this forever.
Yes. It's so uncomfortable on all levels to endure, whatever it may be, right? Within the moment. It totally zaps the outward, forward thinking of the possibility that it can feel better, that this is a transition, things move on. You'll go to bed in your bed tonight. It kind of hijacks that. And that's that abstract thinking too. A little bit like, as for a child, it's hard for a child to think abstractly, to think that, okay, like this feeling that I'm experiencing may go away.
This isn't forever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Can I think of a time that I felt pain and then I didn't?
Yeah. It's not within the child's toolbox usually
Exactly.
to pull on those
Right.
situations. Yeah.
It's interesting how it can hijack us,
Mm-hmm.
on not just like the behavioral things, like the compulsions, like the eating, the drinking, the kind of impulsivities, whatever, but also the ways that we're thinking about like our existence in the moment, right? We really do embody a younger us, a younger you.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting is I was actually thinking about you during this in remembering a time, I don't know what year this was, but many years ago when you still lived in LA. And I came out to visit you for a quick weekend trip. And on Sunday, of course, we started drinking something, or mimosas maybe, or whatever. We drank like, I don't know, late morning or early afternoon, sometime on the earlier side of the day. And I was supposed to fly back to Phoenix at, who knows, 8 p.m. or something.
Oh gosh.
And I was just like, I'm not flying back. And I just stayed, and we changed my flight, and I made up some excuse for my work. I told my work my flight was canceled or something. And
from LA to Phoenix, which is, guys, it's like 45 minutes.
I just made up this story just so I could stay with you and we could keep drinking for the rest of the day. And we flew back the next day, but I was remembering this experience, and this fits in with this. We had much less awareness at that time. And for me at least, I can only speak from my experience, but from what I can remember from that day, it really felt like if we just keep pushing this off, pushing off the reality that I have to leave at some point, like we can just live here forever.
Yes.
Let's just keep pretending we don't have another life to live. And just keep in this position forever, which I think in hindsight now, that's a very young approach.
Very, very young. Absolutely. Just rejecting all of our responsibilities.
Yeah, I don't have responsibilities, but we didn't. But maybe one of the differences there is we didn't have awareness of it. I didn't, absolutely. At least. I wasn't aware of that's what I was doing.
Yeah. No, same. I do remember this.
Yeah.
Now that you bring it up, I do remember that. I think we were both in the situation where we didn't want tomorrow to come, and what a self-sabotaging way to stave off the impending tomorrow is just, oh gosh. Again,
and making ourselves miserable. We
miserable
all day that day. So we felt,
oh my gosh,
we didn't feel great the next day, and then I have to fly back to Phoenix. And it's obviously in the long term, it's like not the most helpful choices.
No,
but in those moments, it feels like this is the right choice.
And so interesting. The child, the inner child, actually won that night. It got what it wanted.
Which was more time with you.
Right. I mean, let's be fair. Both of our kiddos,
I just want to be with my best friend.
Right. Oh,
I don't want to stop playing.
But what we had to do, what we did to excuse that, or not excuse it, but like to make that happen. It's almost like we had to engage in these behaviors that were so, disclaimer too, guys, it's not like we did this all the time, and we were very functional, we were in very adult things.
We were overall very responsible in our jobs and our lives. So this wasn't an every weekend thing, but
it's just interesting what you and I both unconsciously, right? It's not like we were thinking about, okay, we're acting really immature now, now. We were just so, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to keep going, And so it's interesting, like when we didn't know it back then, but both of our kiddos were at play.
Yeah. And this isn't to knock it. There'll probably be a day in my future where I cancel my next day's responsibilities for whatever reason. So this isn't to knock it or say you shouldn't do that, but having the awareness of at least understanding for me why I'm doing
Exactly.
these
That's
things, and
everything.
what I'm trying to gain, what I need in this situation that I'm trying to get. That
Exactly.
changes the game.
I think that's it. That like right there is, as adults, we're always walking around with our selves, our younger self. And so it's everything. It's everything when we can identify who is present, what is it that it's actually needing and wanting, and what are you going to do to give it that, right? And in these present conscious ways. Yeah, does that make sense? Where you, adult self, are actually tending to the child, not the child tending to you. So we just got to flip-flop that, We're not trying to get rid of the younger selves in us. It's just, how do we tend to them in a healthy way?
Yeah, trying to better understand them. And there's something they need or want there. And that's going to keep showing its head in some way until we can, well, even once we better understand it. But once we better understand it, then we're better able to find that unmet need. So
Right. And there's something called these days where really throwing out the poppy stuff, but what's it called? Mental health days. I mean, that now, like, organizations and corporations are like having paid time off, but for like mental health days, which I love. But it's kind of like that, right? Where we're adults and we have a lot of responsibilities, and some of those responsibilities are scary or we don't feel ready for. It can take a mental, psychological, emotional toll. And so I think now it's becoming more normalized where it's, it's okay to stop and rest. It's okay. It's not shameful, guys. It's actually like we're becoming more accepting and more supportive around people that are not feeling it. It's not because they want to, I don't know, binge watch something. It's really like, for whatever is going on in their world, environmentally, societally, whatever, it is too much for them. And they don't have to lie about it. They don't have to shame themselves. They don't have to make up this huge thing to get a day off. You're smiling. What do you?
Well, they don't have to make up a lie about their flight being canceled.
Or they don't have to like get so drunk that they can't show up. It's just interesting when you give a platform, an accepting platform, to the child in you that's, no, don't go, you're not feeling okay. Like, I need rest. Give yourself rest. Give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Hard to do in this country these days.
It is hard to do.
I know we've talked about the Swedes and the Italians and the European countries that are like really honor that break and rest and respite, but the US does not. And so I think we have to, as selves and also therapists, remind the people that we see that resting and respite is healthy, is productive.
It's your productivity standards.
I mean, I hate using that word when it comes to, nurturing yourself, but we live in a quotas climate here. And so think of it that way, okay? You're meeting your quota by resting. Because you're not going to get your quota if you don't give yourself respite.
Yeah. So were you aware yesterday of your rebellion?
I was,
yourself?
It was so, and I was, and I want to say because I was, it was harder because I was going back and forth. It was like talking me in. It's like, just have the glass of wine. Just whatever, you're fine, but I don't really need it. Like, why do I? Oh, but you're cooking dinner and get some jazz on, but I don't really want it. So and then I was texting you and I'm like, oh my God. I think I even said I'm rebelling against tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm
I'm kind of battling with my younger me and me. So I was aware of it. It quieted down though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's interesting too. Like when you use the word rebellion, I think of like teenagers.
Yeah, it was, yes. I
yeah.
felt very teenish.
Yeah. And teenager maybe hand in hand with the rebellion, but like fight,
Oh,
maybe
yes.
stupid fights, like the back and forth.
Yeah, totally.
But
Yes.
what if I do it this way? But
Oh, yeah.
how can I manipulate this
Oh,
or
yeah.
shift this
Get
right
my
again? I
way.
want. Yeah.
Get my way.
Yeah, how can I get my way? Which is what you were doing with yourself.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting.
Yes, I was. And I was so aware of it. I was almost like bird's eye view watching self and younger teen me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm like, okay, you two, just stop.
You two go to your room. But so having that awareness and that perspective of it, you're saying that almost in some ways made it harder.
It was, I don't know if it was harder or just like, oh, sometimes it's, I'm air quoting, guys, easier to just let the kid win. And let me tell you, as a parent, yeah, it feels like that temporarily, but let me tell you, every single time you give in, you're going to pay. And so, I mean, and so I knew in the moment last night, I'm like, all right. So I had a glass of wine and I like dumped it down. I dumped like the last 2 sips down. I'm like, let's put it to rest. I don't want this. I don't need this. We're good. You're good. But yeah, does that resonate where?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that it calmed down, it quieted down. The fight was like, okay, if you don't give it something to fight against, it dissipates.
It loses interest.
It loses it exactly. It loses interest. And so I think it was loud when it first entered in, and then I just had to stick with it. I think that's a lot of parenting too. Like sticking with it. And that's kind of what I did. And then it went away essentially.
Yeah. It's so interesting.
I
love like looking at the world through this lens.
I know.
And like observing people when you see them doing the things that you can maybe assume they wouldn't do under other circumstances. Like, how old is that version of them?
I know.
What are they trying to get in this situation? What do they need? It's so interesting.
Or what are they trying to protect?
Or what are they trying to protect? Yes.
You know? Yeah. What are they trying to get? What are they trying to protect? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Look at people and the world through that lens.
Oh my God.
Changes everything.
Where do we start?
Yeah, there's a lot of people running around trying to protect things or get things now. Childlike things.
Yes.
Without naming any names. We'll just leave it at that.
We're just gonna, you guys can assume what you will, what you want. So we digress, but for real, I mean, there's like these walking little children in adult bodies everywhere. And so just to have more insight and more holding and nurturing to them and normalize it.
So that's inner child.
That's inner child. I mean, there's so many more things we could talk about with in this inner child topic, but yeah, that's the inner child. I mean, I think it's pretty cool that we were able to extrapolate off of very fresh, new, recent experiences that we both shared yesterday in different time zones too, guys.
Yeah.
But that's just the way we roll.
Yeah. All right. Well, being that it's Monday and it's dinner time, we got to end things around here.
That's right. Yeah. Some of us, we got to make dinner, do all the things.
Yeah.
But, this was a joy. And any last words, Debs?
I'm going to go home and snuggle up on my couch and get my inner child super comfy and happy.
Yeah.
Because she's tired still.
Yeah. Yeah. Give her some rest.
Yeah. That's the big plan for tonight.
Good. All righty. Well, on to the next. And what's our next?
We don't know yet. Stay tuned. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, stay tuned. There may be some surprises coming down the pike.
Mhm.
Okay. All righty.
All right. Thanks. We'll see you
All right,
next time.
bye.
That's our episode. Proof that therapists can overshare too. If you're leaving this feeling a little more human, good. That's kind of the point. Send this to someone who gets it, or someone who really needs to. We'll be back soon with more stories, more tenderness, and a rotating cast of unresolved issues. And maybe a few coping skills. Maybe. Until then, hold yourself like you would someone you love.